Get this bitch rolling.
Hello, 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 and welcome to episode one of the Cooler Guild. I am your host, Coop, and with me is my co-host, Van Crisp.
What's up? What's happening?
On today's episode, our very first episode, we have to talk about another rain loss, which was their 3-2 loss on the road against the Washington Spirit from Friday evening. But because I don't want to talk about that, how was your week right away?
I know. Let's talk about something a little more positive. My week was good.
Did you anything fun for Memorial Day?
No, I had the day off, which was great. But this past weekend, actually during the rain game, but I, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I am the general manager of a USLW team, and
Whoop whoop.
we had a game down in Eugene. So we went down there, traveled down there. I got to drive the big 15 passenger
Van with your van.
van with the van, which is cool. The kids are all really nice, so we always have a good time. But in warm-ups, one of my players walked to the sideline, and we were like, what's going on?" One of our goalkeepers, and she's like, "I broke my finger." And our
Oh, this
coach,
is during warm-ups?
yeah, it's during
I didn't
warm-ups.
realize that.
Some girl blasted the ball in so hard, like low driven shot, and
Oh
she went
God.
to like scoop it, and it took a weird bounce off the crappy Eugene turf, and it hit her just right. But she walked up like holding her hand. You could see it. She had taken her glove off, and she said to our coach, "I broke my finger," and he's like, "No, you didn't." And she slowly shows it. She slowly shows it, and then knuckle like her
Uh,
fingers kind of gone backwards, and with to spare you some details, there was some bone sticking out. But ended up spending the spending the game at the hospital with her. Um, but luckily, all of our games are streamed, so was it we were able to watch the game at the hospital. She's all right. So
and you won.
yeah, and they won 4-1.
That's great.
So yeah, it was eventful, but not always in the way you want. Luckily for her, though, she should be okay to be back for college season. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, sucks for the season, but other than that,
Where's she playing college at?
she is at George Washington in
Cool.
DC.
Cool.
Yeah, from Seattle area though.
Nice.
But
Love a
yeah,
local.
that was so I was checking the rain score during warm-ups, and I was just like,
Uh,
uh.
yeah, it got bad quickly.
Yeah, it got bad real quick, and each time I looked, it was worse and worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, after I got back from the hospital that night, I watched the highlights or low lights of the game.
Yeah.
But what about you? What'd you do?
Trying to get the yard ready. And we have this we have like a giant we're in a new house, right? So we're like trying to make the yard our own in the backyard. It's kind of just a blank canvas. There's like this divot in the backyard, and my wife is just like, we should put a tree there because there's just a divot, and it's like you can't really mow it. It's like super awkward. So we went to like this garden center we've been told about out by Seaside.
Hmm.
Bought like it was a very expensive Japanese maple tree.
How much was it?
It was several $100.
You
It
spent
was
several hundred
it was
dollars
like
on
a
a
little over three
tree?
hundred dollars for like a Japanese. It was
Oh
like
my
because we didn't
God.
want to get Japanese maple; it's gonna get too big. So we like got one that's like a little bit smaller. But this thing, I mean, this is a good looking tree. Even the person working there was like, "Wow, this is beautiful." Because we had to like go get her help to like move it, and it's like in a big pot. It's like pretty. It was like pretty big. It just wasn't gonna get huge. And so Alex is like, "Oh, well, we can just lift this." And I was like, "I don't think we're lifting this pot. I think we should get the smaller one." And it was also cheaper for the smaller one. Same, variety, but it was smaller, less full. And they said it would take like a couple of years or more to get it as full as the one that she liked. But we ended up going with the fuller one. So this like
How did you get it back to your house?
Oh, we didn't.
You had to pay to get it
Yeah,
sent to your
no, we
house.
still don't have it. We someone came with the forklift and they're like special plant moving pot tool. This like lady came out. She was just like a total badass.
Like a prong attachment.
Kind of. Well, she had a pallet and then she had this like thing that you can put wrap around your hands and she kind of just weaseled it on top of the pallet. And then she pulls it out to her car after we paid for it. And we like put it up to like she raised it up to like our, you know, bed or the back of the Subaru. And she's like, yeah, that thing's not fitting in there. And then we like got a tape measure, like, oh shit, this is definitely not fitting in there. So the tree is still just at the nursery. It's like being held for us, but we have, and I don't know how we're gonna get this thing up our stairs because to get to our backyard, you have to go up like a giant set of concrete stairs. I'm still unsure how we're gonna get that up the stairs. We have one of those like back strap two-person moving things, but
That'd probably work.
I don't know how we're gonna get under the tree because it's like so filled out. I don't want to damage it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think we're gonna go bring the back strap with us to the nursery again and make
Could you like
sure.
wrap it around?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Anyway.
we moved a washing machine with this thing. Those like those
Oh
straps.
yeah.
So I think we can figure it out. But I think we've like gave them a date that we're gonna go pick it up. It's in like June because it's like we have to also go get like a trailer and all that other stuff. So kind of a nightmare. But one day we'll have the nice tree.
Is
It
that
was like
something for like TaskRabbit?
it could. Apparently they had like a like a gardener or some sort of service, like landscaping service that's like partnered with the nursery that we could just hire them out to like go and dig the hole for it too. But as a lesbian, I want to do it ourselves. So it's more satisfying, but we'll see. I don't know. If not, I might just put it in the front of the house and hope no one steals it until we can figure out how to get it up the stairs. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. So that was my thrilling weekend.
Well, it sounds better than this game.
Oh yeah, it that wasn't my favorite. That was Friday night. Well, Friday evening for us. Friday night on the East Coast. Guess we'll get into it now.
It's so frustrating to watch this team right now.
Yeah.
To give up 3 goals in the first half, one wishy-washy second goal penalty, but
At some, we've been saying like, oh, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. I don't know that there is for this season. I'm like pretty confident saying that at this point, just because I think now we're like watching them play these teams that have gotten these big names or just like have had good players on their teams and they're getting little pieces to like add around them. And we just can't seem to do anything about it.
no, it's really disheartening.
I think we used to be good at, we're not good at anymore, which is our defense.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you score 2 goals in a game, you should be able to win that game.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what's going on their back line because I don't like to single players out. I do think both of our center backs had really poor game. And this one, just like missed touches and stuff like that. But I think we've seen a few games from Cook where she's just really not kind of been at the level that we're used to seeing her at.
yeah. I mean, the Bethune goal, which was the first goal, good strike, but there was nobody there. She's in the box, and there are 2 players like 4 yards away from her on either side.
Yeah, and it all started with like a bad touch from Barnes, right at the top
Yeah.
of the box. But like if that's all it takes to just get your, goal is just that one missed touch from a center back right there, it seems like a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized how good like the attacking three are for the Spirit. The chemistry that they have is like pretty incredible to watch. I didn't wish it came at the expense of our team, but it was it was something special that I was like, yeah, this is what we're missing. We need someone else that's just like getting all of these things going for us because it's not happening.
No. No, and objective, you watch that game objectively, which when I watch the replay I tried to do, because then the emotions are over. I've already dealt with it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you can see that they're so productive when they get the ball and they push forward. Trinity Rodman is so good getting the ball in those wide areas and either playing it into a dangerous spot or
Yeah.
cutting in and beating players. I mean, that's how she got the penalty in the second goal. Because
Which she had and she had another play that was like kind of close to that in the
yeah.
first half.
Hmm.
So
But yeah, and Bethune, uh, nightmare,
Yeah.
nightmare for us, but fun player to watch. Really hope she
Yeah.
makes the national team roster.
For someone who's a rookie, I just feel like she gets it, as far as like finding players and making plays
Hmm.
herself. It's something you don't really see, I would say, from a lot of rookies. But she was rated highly coming in anyways, so I guess it's not super shocking, but man, I thought our defense was better than this. But we've had issues with Rodman many times before. Our record against them is really bad. And I think we last game that we played them was the first match of the season, and we won, but guess who was missing?
Yeah, she was still on her red card suspension.
Yeah. So
So
like we got our win, but we still haven't beat Trinity Rodman. And like, is that gonna happen and when and what will it take?
yeah. And that's why it's hard to sometimes look up those like head to head stats because,
Hmm.
if you look up, oh, head to head, this is what's, the trend is. Well, this is a completely different team than we saw last year, in the year
Hmm.
before, on our side at least. So it just gets a little bit difficult to look at the stats and assume something.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. The Rain were on 11 game winless streak against the Spirit before the first match of the season that we beat that didn't have Rodman. So like we're so bad when it comes to playing Spirit.
Yeah.
How have we not learned anything? That's what I don't understand. Because the Spirit weren't very good last season and we still couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
I feel like we should keep talking about things that didn't go well before giving like a couple of positives.
I mean, the frustration is real. And I joke that like we picked such a fun season to start a podcast about this team that we've been obsessively watching for years.
We've also talked about starting this podcast for like it's been a while we've talked about doing this.
Yeah.
And then we finally we finally get it going and then this is what we're given. This is what we're having to watch and like break down more than, maybe we used to for podcast purposes and commentary and all that. And we both watched the team their first season in the league. So we're not unfamiliar with a bad season, but I did think those days were behind us as far as being this bad.
You'd hope, but I really do think there's other factors involved. The sale teams went up for sale. They announced that, had a buyer, Sounders and then another group. And we were told that it was going to go through by the end of last year.
Yeah.
And we're still like waiting in this limbo. So I'm not sure if we know Laura Harvey's not a terrible coach.
Yeah.
So,
She took us to the final last year. She got us the shield when she came in.
mhm.
But we all like what's changed since then? We've lost Sonnet, we've lost Rose Lavelle, and we've lost Megan Rapinoe.
And who have we gained?
And then two Welsh players, Angarad, James Turner, and Lily Woodham.
Who we've gotten one goal out of the two of them. Two?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think James Turner's been pretty good, but she's not Emily Sonnet and she's
No.
not Rose Lavelle. I don't mean, how do you replace those players? Like just signing G isn't enough.
No.
And I don't know. I mean, I like the signings that we got for the Welsh players, but that's not enough.
No, but that's kind of where I was getting at, like is it front office that's not doing their job? Is Leslie Gallimore just really not good enough to be general managing at this level, which I don't think is the case. So you have to look at the resources. And if the sale is holding up any sort of big
Hmm.
resources from coming through for the team, you're going to have to kind of blame that and feel like you're being cheated at some point.
Yeah, because I feel like the thing that we need, when the new owners come in, I imagine they want these results to change. I don't see that changing unless they go and they're going to look at the rest of the league and how they're winning. And everyone's doing that with like these big name signings, usually from not within the NWSL. I just don't think we have anyone at the top at like front office or whoever, the ownership right now, because there isn't really an ownership that could do anything crazy right now. There's no one there to be like, we're gonna change this. We're just gonna go throw down all the money that we got and go get our player who's gonna turn everything around. Or at least get us to like finish these chances that we're creating.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, because I read like there were several shots in this last game where it was just it looked weak.
Yeah.
And I think King's done really well, but I think she's not a starter. She's an impact player off the bench.
I think my issue with King has been that we didn't play her enough like the last two seasons that we had her starting at least. She was coming off the bench. I think she's shown a lot of, I don't know, boldness in the way that she plays and takes shots that I think we kind of had for Megan Rapinoe. And I don't know that we have a ton of players that are willing to do that. I mean, you'll see it from Fishlock, but she's out in the midfield, so like a forward taking those kinds of shots. I think King's been able to do that, but because she hasn't been a starter for us on a regular basis for very long, I think that's not helping.
Yeah,
I think she could get there, but I don't know. I don't think she's I don't know. I don't know
I
what
don't
it
know.
is
And we can't fail to mention that Balser was out this game. Red card suspension.
for a very
Yeah.
stupid red card suspension. That guy was on a power trip.
Who knows what was said, but you know, she posted on socials after the game, she does that her mental health thing and she said she never apologized for standing up for herself and it's like, okay,
Yeah. And the players and like that's what I just like I can't in my head imagine because she's not swearing
we don't
probably.
know that.
I mean maybe, but like maybe she is. Maybe Bethany Balcer's swearing, but like I feel like it's nothing like there's to me I just like I can't picture Bethany Balcer saying anything so crazy that that would get her like immediately sent off. But the guy was just like you could tell he was just like no, I'm not dealing with any of this stuff and it seemed like he was just on a power trip because to do that at Bethany Balcer is just kind of stupid to me.
Yeah, agreed.
So, with all the things that went bad, what is there anything you liked that you did see?
We won the second half, not that that matters, but from a halftime perspective, like that's kind of what you go into the second half wanting to do. I mean, first off, you want to win the game, but if you can win the half, that's something to build on. Didn't give up a goal.
They also got that goal right before the half, so that helped, I think, make
Hmm.
them have something to be motivated about coming out of the half.
Yeah, both goals are in extra time.
The last ditch attempts to try to do something is what it's been a theme.
Yeah, can't score off dead balls. Can't score in regular time. Yeah. Um, the Adamas goal, the second goal for Rain was I I think it was goal of the week, but Twitter doesn't agree with me.
Was it? I don't even know if it was up for goal of the week. I think Latsko's
No, it
was.
was
Oh, it is.
yeah, I got two players up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah,
Latsko's
that
goal was also that went hard.
it did, but the Adames goal.
It went harder.
I mean, like for that to be your first goal in the league too. Hopefully that gives her some confidence going forward. I hope that it gives Laura Harvey some confidence, like getting her in the game earlier. I know she got subbed on earlier than we're used to maybe seeing from Harvey, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, the way that she connects with this ball, and it's a full-on volley. It's not a half volley. The ball doesn't bounce. Huerta puts that in, I think. Or no, somebody puts it in, and then I think Fishlock heads it.
I think like where to send the ball into the dangerous area.
Yeah. When Fishlock heads it, Adamas just comes through and bam, left foot volley.
Yeah, that was a fantastic goal.
Definitely. And for her first goal, man, not gonna forget that one.
No, I don't think anyone who follows her is gonna forget that one because she's got a lot of promise, and I think we're all just eager to see more from her. I don't know if it's just like Harvey doesn't. I mean, she's young. I don't want to overplay her and burn her out. So I get not starting her all the time. She's had some lapses with defense before, but that doesn't mean I don't want to see her thrown into games, especially at this point in the season. What do we have to lose?
Nothing. I also think too, Harvey subbed earlier than normal.
Not just one sub early either.
Well, 61st minute is not.
For her, that's good.
Yeah, true. It has been like 70, 75, 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Haidema coming on in 61st.
Hmm.
It's exciting. Good to have her back. And then she was impactful.
She was.
Not on the score sheet, but she came close. We were missing that aerial prowess in the box, and she connected with her head and hit the post. I think Kingsbury might have had it covered, but we wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm really eager to see. I'm hoping I mean, it probably is going to take her a while to get back to, starting and doing at least 60 minutes. I don't know. Maybe she's fine. She looked totally fine for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm eager to see her with G regularly. And then also Barnes has been taking a lot of free kicks that have just been needing someone tall on the end of them. I mean, Latsko and Balser have made it work most of the time, but Heidema is obviously taller.
Well, and she's a player that, has shown that she's good with her head. I mean, we could say the
Yeah.
same thing for Latsko this season, but
You can probably rely on someone who's taller.
I'm not participating in this heightism.
I know you get as a goalkeeper, a short goalkeeper. I know you always get a little touchy about height in the box and all that.
No, I think it's position wise too, right? Because Haidem is constantly in that
She
central.
draws players to her,
Hmm.
which can help everyone else. I mean, I'm thinking of her doing that and then King being on the other side with some of those shots that King takes, and maybe that'll help kind of get some of those balls the back of the net.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that combination very much this season.
I'm curious about that because King will also lay those balls back into the box from
Hmm.
out wide, and Haidema is so good at positioning in the box.
Yeah. Yeah, and King can put in a good lofting ball,
Mm-hmm.
and Haidem usually gets on the end of those.
Mm-hmm. As long as they're not hitting the post.
Yeah, I know.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, and that's just this game, I would say for this season, just Fishlock has been such a highlight for me. I don't know, maybe it was just ignorant of me to think that she couldn't play like this at this age and at this, just for so long. She's been playing so well. But I think this season she's just been so phenomenal. Her stats are always pretty darn good. She's getting in there and fighting for balls, and it's kind of just too bad that the results aren't coming because I think the team seems to deserve it with the way that she's been playing and putting her heart into this.
Yeah, I mean, there was a stretch of games where she kind of just looked uninterested and lost.
And now I think she's been turning it up for several games.
She seems to be better in that more central role. And for a couple games in the beginning of the season, she was put in the lineup out wide and just didn't seem to work.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit better when she's got the ball to like dictate where everything's gonna go.
Yeah, she's a central midfielder. She's a playmaker.
I think McLernan's been stepping up too,
Yeah.
but it's not enough still. It's just so frustrating to watch every single week. I think like they used to have goals where it was just like unlucky,
Hmm.
like kind of stuff, or just like really quick mental lapses. But I mean, the Portland game, I don't know. It's kind of hard to look at that game and because it just fell apart when that penalty call happened.
Hmm.
And but those goals that they gave up at the end were mental lapses, really bad mental lapses, and really bad organizing the back line, which is kind of what I saw with the two goals we gave up here, besides
Yeah.
the penalty, obviously.
It's definitely become a problem.
You would think they would see it on film and
I'm sure they
figure,
do.
yeah, but like, why haven't they stepped up to try to really? I don't know. I don't get it. I'm confused why it keeps
No.
happening.
There's a reason we don't coach.
'Cause our defense used to be, yeah, but our defense used to be so solid. We always used to be able to rely on that, and then we wouldn't need to. I mean, it's been crazy that we've been putting ourselves in a position to try to get a point when we're going down multiple goals. But before, and you said this to me, is like we didn't need to score multiple goals. We just had to have our defense hold it down and then get one and take the 3 points and go. And we
Mm-mm.
can't do that anymore.
And you have to at some point look at the goalkeeper too. I mean, you're as the goalkeeper, you're the general back there, right?
Hmm.
Sure, everybody has their own individual responsibilities, but the goalkeeper is essentially in charge of organizing the back line. And you've got to wonder if there's a disconnect there or if Ivory just isn't being, I don't know how to word this, just doesn't have the capacity to communicate that at this level to these players right now.
Yeah, because you've seen her shot stopping abilities.
Hmm.
Those are there, but I think you're onto something with organizing that back line because we've seen the back line perform, and it's like
Yeah.
we haven't changed that much back there. And all of a sudden, it seems to be tanking.
It's not like we were doing great under Dickey, but I think that there's a reason that she was starting over Ivory, and I think that that could very possibly be one of those reasons. So if she comes back, that might change things.
It's interesting to think about all these like little events that have happened in different games that like if those little things didn't happen, what would the scoreline have been? Like the lore or like when Dickey got injured, right? And she was still in the game and probably shouldn't have been, and we gave up a goal in that moment. And it seems like we have a lot of those little moments that just one little moment completely changes the entire game. And it's kind of stuff that's out of your control a little bit
Yeah.
between that and the VAR call in Portland. I don't know that the VAR call on the penalty for this game. I don't think that was getting overturned, but it did seem like Trinity Rodman jumped into her.
Yeah. I feel like she was reaching for the ball and they just got tangled up.
I would hope if it was my team and I saw a goalkeeper accidentally grab my, forward like that. 'Cause she did get her a little bit, but I do think she got the ball all ball first. I would hope that that call would go towards my team.
Yeah, but when you're just out there reaching and grabbing on
And
the
she jumped
ground,
over her. That's the thing is she jumped over her and into like her arm, like her hands. And I'm like, well, wait a second. How like she was already on the ground jumping forward to get the save, to get the ball. And then Trinity, like she can't even see her.
yeah, but there was one at the very end where she kind of brings her arm back and I think catches her. And I think that's probably ultimately
Yeah.
what did it.
I mean, it's just frantic there. So I feel like we're just having all of the bad luck combined with not playing well.
Yeah. There's mental lapses. There seems to be a lack of mental toughness with this team because you can't let, as a professional athlete, you can't let a crappy penalty call, say in the Portland game, derail you that much.
Hmm.
They got to figure it out and they got to get it together because sure, you might not be, on the same skill wise, talent wise level as some of the teams that we're playing with the roster that we currently have, but that's not an excuse to give up some of the goals that we have.
Yeah, I agree.
We're a better team than we're playing like, but we're also still missing some key elements.
Yeah, if you look at the top of the standings, it's not like you're looking at those teams and like, how did they get there? It's
No,
like
no, we're
you
not.
know who they have. You know they're scoring goals and they're getting results in ways that you're not surprised. We're not a threat, it seems like, when people play us.
It's really frustrating to watch. It is what it is right now, and all you can do is hope that people stay with it. Because as a fan, like it always sucks when your team sucks, but especially when you've been a team that won in the past,
Yeah, I mean, we were in the final last year.
you got to stick with it
Yeah.
and hope that you don't become the new Mariners.
I don't think anyone can outdo the Mariners. Yikes. Is there anything else you want to talk about from this match, or is it kind of? I feel like there's just like it's just a bummer, and we're going into a break, which I think is needed. We need a reset.
Yeah, I'm interested to see number one, what's are we gonna get any news on the sale? Are we gonna get anything? Is it ever gonna happen?
They keep saying it's close, and then it's like
I feel like I'm in a
it's been
fever
months.
dream.
It's been months. We're just like in limbo.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel like it already happened. No, it hasn't happened. What is happening?
Yeah, Alex got that. Alex got that jersey right from the gala,
Hmm.
and I was like, I don't want to email the team about it until we get our summer signing because it better be someone big.
It better be Miedema. That won't happen, but we can hope.
We can hope, and we need something like that.
Yeah. And that's happened before. We've brought in big names. I mean, think about the Rose Lavelle signing. And we were like, what the
I
heck?
do feel like a lot of those signings, it was just like, I mean, this is the Laura Harvey thing, right? Where like she is really good at being an opportunist when things like that pop up. Because I don't think anyone saw the Roosevelt thing coming at all. And then the Emily Sonnet thing also happened, got on that really quickly. She also like helped Emily Sonnet kind of get back at her like A game.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just left us. That was not nice of her.
No, it's not.
So I don't know. Flora Harvey's got something in the works that we don't know about, but maybe she can't do anything about it because the sale's not done. I
Well, girl, you got to find something else in the meantime because this is not
Yeah,
working.
I because I have confidence in her ability to like know what maybe needs to change. And in the press conference, it did seem like her attitude was kind of changing as far as like we're this close to kind of getting everything together. I think she realizes if it's this many games and we're not getting it together, there's a bigger problem that needs to be solved. Uh,
Yeah, you're no longer this close.
No,
You're that
no.
close, which is a lot for them.
Yeah. So I think she's serious about this team. She's very serious about this club. She's serious about getting results with this club and making sure that these players know what they can play up to. But that doesn't mean we don't need someone else if we want to compete at least.
Yeah, we got to get somebody in because there's a thing, and I see it when I watch other teams, and especially when you see it when you're watching, say, last weekend's game. They've got forwards on their team that their first thought when they get the ball is goal. They're taking players on, they're beating players. We don't have anybody like that. We need one of those players.
Yeah. I feel like we have a lot of like team build up kind of stuff and trying to make,
When it happens, it's like, oh yay, but it's not like somebody that like does the work.
yeah,
I don't know. That could be my frustration clouding my judgment, but
it's annoying.
it's
It's annoying, it's frustrating, and I don't know how to feel about playing KC Current next. It just sucks because it's everyone's pretty damn good this year. There's like so many good teams that I don't ever like look at the schedule and be like, finally we can like we have a pretty good chance of getting some points. It's just like week after week after week. I'm just like, we're not getting a break. We have one now, so maybe they need some time away.
maybe for better or for worse. We don't have anybody going. We have one player, Jordan Heidem, is going
Hmm.
to Canada camp. So the rest of the team's going to be together. They better go do like a high ropes course or something, one of those team building weekends. It should be fun for them. These games should be fun for them, win or lose.
Yeah.
As a professional athlete, you need to enjoy what you're doing. And I just feel like they're not enjoying it. I mean, I don't enjoy losing, but
Yeah. I don't like losing
yeah,
either.
there's not that fight. There's not that drive where you're like, this is what I want.
They have it. It's just like it's at the wrong time. Like they need to have that from the beginning
Hmm.
to the end, and they only seem to get it when they're in a hole. They don't have it for 90 minutes.
Maybe we should just start the game with 10 players.
Yeah, maybe that would honestly help, but I think that's some. I mean, knowing that that is something we're capable of it, right? It is something we can do. It would be nice if they could do this for more than like the last 10 minutes of the game or like the last 30 minutes of the game or one half.
Rewatching the game, you see it's like the first 9 minutes of the game, like we've got the ball, we're pressing, and then it's just like whoop, gone. Hopefully, when we come back in for the next game podcast in 2 weeks.
I don't think we can add anything else to that. It's just it is what it is. We got KC. Oh God. After KC, we have Portland. It's so frustrating that we're just playing a lot of the same teams so quickly. We don't have like it spread evenly at all. Did draw KC 0-0 last time, and that was the midweek game, am I right?
Yes,
Okay. So I don't know. I don't think it's totally hopeless, but I also thought that about this entire season,
same.
and it's not going well. I thought we would have more points by now,
Me too.
but we're not in last.
Not last place. Not last place.
Utah, shout out Utah. Thank you.
Shout out Utah. Besties.
You can have the wooden spoon. I don't want it.
Bottom of the barrel besties.
Did you want to plug anything about your team?
We got 2 games this weekend.
Are any of them at home?
Yeah, Sunday we play at home.
Okay. So if you're in the Olympia area, you can.
Go to fcolympia.com. Actually, I think it's fcoli.com. I don't do the website. I don't know.
Well, the name just recently changed this season. They're a fun team to watch. I've gone out to several games. If you're looking for some soccer, some women's soccer while we have this little break.
Would you like to watch a team that wins? Come watch FC Olympia USLW women's team.
They went to the playoffs last year. They were undefeated,
Yeah,
right?
#1 seed in the West Coast.
They're definitely worth watching. I heard they have a really good GM.
Thanks.
Is Mariah gonna be there? Mariah Lee?
I don't know.
Okay. If you don't follow the team or you haven't heard about Mariah Lee, I highly recommend going and checking her out sometime because she's so fun to watch. And she's got that thing that I think sometimes the Rain are missing.
She does have 1 cap for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the first
they
Challenge
need to bring
Cup.
her back.
They should.
All right. So the next episode, because we got a break, be doing an episode to talk about the tournament.
Bonus
It's a
episode.
bonus epi since we don't have any end of cell going on for the rain. I don't think does anyone else have a game during the break?
I didn't look.
Maybe someone does. Maybe someone doesn't.
Who cares? We're our own worst enemy at this point.
Exactly. But they've got the tournament with Liga MX's, was it Feminil?
Femenil.
Feminil. We'll probably talk about that because the Rain are in that. Is everyone who else is in that? It's not everybody. There's like
No,
a
there's
few
like 3
teams.
teams.
So we'll talk about that. The U.S. Women's National Team camp will be going on. We don't have a lot going on with Rain there,
No.
but we do love the national team for the U.S. And we'll be talking about ourselves, and especially Van will talk about herself because she loves that.
Yes.
You can learn about like our backgrounds if you want to.
And why we decided to do this.
Yeah, because we think it's a good thing, and we'd like to, I don't know, get people excited about it.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's not a ton out there that covers the rain on a weekly basis, and we're hoping to do that. Obviously, Van's got her whole season going on, so we might be a few days late on some episodes, but we are hopefully going to be covering every single match this season. Hopefully, there's a postseason too.
Let us know what you'd like to hear. If there's something else you'd like us to cover.
We're at Twitter, at Cooler Guild Pod. You can find us individually on Twitter as well. At the tallest Coop is me.
I'm at Van Crisp.
And then we've also got an email set up. So if you like want to send us the feedback there,
That is thecoolerguild@gmail.com.
great. So you can send us some thoughts, feedback, whatever else you have, so we can make this
We want to make this an engaging podcast, an engaging place for fans. That's not Reddit or Twitter. That's gonna do it. Hopefully, well, the next episode we'll have a more lighter.
subject matter.
Yes.
Less of a downer episode for sure. Yep.
Yeah, there's gonna be less losing in the next
Exactly.
episode. So
And hopefully maybe in 2 episodes there'll be less losing too. So fingers crossed.
yes.
Till next time, bye.
Bye. We can probably cut a lot from that.